Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Thank you for being here at Alessandro TV for another lesson on vocabulary. What kind of vocabulary are we going to learn today? Yes, as you guessed it. Just as you can see on these beautiful pictures, we can see appliances, we can see utensils to cook. Utensils that we use in the kitchen when preparing our food. So let's see how can we use this vocabulary. Let's start. Today we're going to learn cooking vocabulary, verbs, and the imperative, how to command somebody in the kitchen. We'll learn the present continuous, learn to work together in the kitchen, and learn to use cooking verbs so that you can explain how to use these action verbs for cooking or these action words. Let's continue. Some different utensils that we use for different tasks in the kitchen are some of this. For example, I can see a bowl or some bowls. If you can see a bowl, just look at it over this side. I like to use bowls to eat my cereal in the morning. We have the silverware here, a spoon, fork, and knife. Usually we use it, the whole group of utensils is called silverware. Silverware. Then we have a mug. I like to drink coffee or chocolate in a mug rather than in a coffee cup. Some people like their coffee and coffee cups. These are like a medium size. And if you prefer tea, obviously you will drink it in the small teacups. Let's learn some of these utensils and how we use them. We have first the basting brush. The basting brush I use to spread the oil and the spices on the meat when I am fixing a barbecue. Then we have the colander, no calendar, colander. The colander I use it to drain all the water out of my spaghetti. Colander. It's called a colander. Then we have a spatula when I'm fixing an omelette for myself and my family. I use a spatula to pick up the omelette and put it into my plate. Then we have the grater, which I use to grate the cheese. I can grate different vegetables also. Then we have the ladle. We use the ladle to scoop the soup so we can put it in our bowl. I use a ladle. Ladle. Next, we have a rolling pin. I use a rolling pin to flatten the dough to cut the cookies. So then I can bake them and have delicious cookies. Next, the tongs. Notice the tongs. Not this one. No, no, it's an utensil, the tongs that you can see here. It has two parts, so that's why we call them tongs, plural, because it has two parts. Next, we have a wooden spoon. They are very useful because if you need to stir something for a while, you don't want it to get hot, and wooden spoons do not get hot. And finally, I'm going to see the whisk. What do I use a whisk for? Usually I use it to mix chocolate also in a big pitcher, or I can also use it to mix the eggs before I make my omelette. You can say mix, or you can say whisk. Whisk can be the whisk itself, or it can be the verb that when I perform this movement with the whisk, I'm whisking the eggs in the bowl. Perfect. Let's continue to see an example with this family. Let's see what we use this cooking verse for. When we are preparing food in a kitchen with another person or more people, we need to ask for things sometimes and decide what to do next. To make chocolate milk, we need to stir the chocolate in the milk. Mom probably might ask one of her children, "Can you squeeze the lime, please? Can you squeeze the lime, please?" Okay, and if she's going to make an omelette, first we should break the egg, then we need to whisk it. Once it's mixed, we can make delicious omelettes. Now, we need to peel the banana and dice it. When you dice a banana, you dice it into small pieces. So now we need to peel the banana and dice it. After that, I pare the apple. When you use when you use a knife to remove the peel, you pare. You pare the apple. You pare it. Then I eat it. Let's see some examples. Here are some cooking verbs that you can write and then generate this list. You can pause the video so you can write them and have this generated list of verbs. Let's see some examples. Pour. The girl is pouring some tea into the cup. Stir. She is stirring the soup with a ladle. Excuse me. She's stirring the soup with the ladle. As you could see in the previous example, to create the present continuous and action in progress, we use the right form of the verb to be and another verb plus the suffix ing. She is pouring some tea. She is pouring some tea. Let's see some more examples. Sip. She is sipping the hot tea slowly. When something is very hot, you sip it. You don't drink it right away. So you need to sip it. So drink it carefully. Sip. Spread. I like to spread butter on my toast in the morning. Don't you? I do. I like to spread butter on my toast in the morning. Cut. She's cutting the fish into small pieces. She's cutting the fish into small pieces. Squeeze. Remember what that mom asked her child to do? Squeeze. She's squeezing a lemon. Very important to note that squeeze start with the letter S. So never S squeezed, because in Spanish or in other languages, you probably might notice that there are no words that start with S and a consonant. So squeeze, squeeze. Break. Remember the mom was making omelettes? So break the eggs into a glass bowl. Mix the batter together until it's smooth, until it's very runny. So you can say mix or whisk it. Next one. Peel. Tom is peeling the potatoes. He's peeling the potatoes. Dice. Dice the potatoes into cubes, just little pieces. Next, oh, we put peel again in here. Sorry about that. Tom is peeling the potatoes. Whisk. The chef is whisking the cream. Notice the utensil is the whisk. You can use the verb word whisk or you can use mix. She's mixing it too. Now let's practice. Here are some examples. How can I use these verbs? First, we need to mix the chocolate. Can you squeeze a line? First, we should break the eggs. Then we whisk them so we can make omelette. Now, we need to dice the tomatoes. After that, we will mix them until we get tomato sauce. So the tomato is runny and smooth until we make tomato sauce. That's what tomato sauce is, runny tomato. Now, next, we will peel a banana. Now we need to dice it. So here are some sentences for you to put them into context, to put these words into context. So let's review our lesson. In this lesson, we have learned a group of verbs, action words that we can use when cooking in the kitchen. We have also learned how to use the imperative and the present continuous. Tom is peeling the potatoes. If I were to ask Tom to in an imperative way, I would say, Tom, peel the tomatoes. Just do it. Remember that when using the imperative, you will use the verbs in their plain form. Do not use to pass. Tom, to pass me the tomatoes. No, you'll say, pass me the tomatoes. Or politely, could you pass me the tomatoes, please? Or to break? Not to break. Simply use the raw verb. Break the eggs. Mix them. Make the omelette. Okay, some examples at the end. Pass me the eggs. Pare the apple. Cut the broccoli. Very good. So with this, we are getting to the end of this lesson on cooking verbs. Thank you so much for being here. And if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next video lesson. Thank you.